I don't think there's ever been a person who's divided audiences and critics the way Adam Sandler has.
30 years ago, I decided to give golf a try.
Audiences seem to flock to his movies in droves. The masses love Adam Sandler, and he has a dedicated fan base that has followed his movies for decades. Critics, on the other hand, have increasingly become more hostile towards his films.
The movie is a scam, and I kind of sat there and I went, wow, this isn't a movie.
Yeah.
This is a scam.
But I do think there's something to the way audiences connect with him, and I think that's something the critics are missing or lacking when they review his films. Now, Happy Gilmore 2 is currently the #1 movie on Netflix, and people are either loving it or hating it. And again, it seems to be the critics or the film snobs who hate it, and the masses who are just saying, hey, I had a great time, I laughed, and they move on, and they don't really think about his movie beyond that.
You're going to put Vienna through ballet school. It's $75,000 a year. That's 4 years. That's 333 grand.
That's terrible math, Johnny. It's 300 grand.
And I think the original Happy Gilmore is one of the best films Adam Sandler made in his early career. He made a string of really great films. I mean, Billy Madison, Big Daddy, Happy Gilmore, all of these movies feature his sort of trademark schlubby character, very reminiscent of something like Charlie Chaplin's The Tramp character. Where you find this guy who's kind of a slob overall, in these predicaments that are a bit more highbrow. For instance, Happy Gilmore being a pro golfer. In Big Daddy, he has to be a parent. In Mr. Deeds, he becomes a billionaire.
He left it all to you, Deeds.
$40 billion.
And how he navigates sort of this plebeian way around whatever this sort of aristocracy or group that he's having to join is where the comedy comes in. And there's usually stock characters that are like his sort of friends or people within the schlubby community. And then there's usually a like elite aristocracy side, and typically the villain also is in this category too. And the characters are more like stock SNL characters at time to time. I mean, you have Rob Schneider saying you can do it and everything.
You can do it all night long! You can do it! You can do it, Nikki!
Or you have Steve Buscemi playing something, and they tend to be a little bit more over the top than what we expect out of a grounded comedy film when we go see a typical comedy. But for some reason, within Adam Sandler's crazy world, these characters work, and they somehow don't fall into that silly, obnoxious realm of comedy and still land as humorous. And I think that's a skill unto itself that he has mastered. All of his movies, you can tell there is a lot of influence from him and his performance style, which I think great comedy masters all have within their films. I mean, people like Preston Sturges or Mel Brooks, they all, their comedy reeks, and their Woody Allen in their movies, and you can tell they're almost like giving their actors line readings as opposed to having them develop real characters, which is fine for a comedy. You don't want that in a drama, but for something like this that's lighthearted, you kind of want everybody to be on the same page with a comedy. And most of these people have been friends with Sandler since the SNL days, and he's just kind of taken them along as his actor troupe, which I admire. I mean, I think somebody who can keep friends in the industry and keep them employed is very admirable. Now, this movie's directed by Kyle Newacheck, who I really enjoy because he's one of the creators of Workaholics.
And he'd rap about it, and then he passed the mic to Blake.
No, I don't want the mic. Give it to Adam. Rapping, stopping. I don't want the mic. Blake.
I don't want it.
And he's also been directing episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, which I love that show. And I think that his comedy style is a really, really great pairing with Adam Sandler's, especially the workaholic stuff. Just that, again, schlubby, slob-like characters, I think, will really mesh with Sandler. Now, one thing I noticed in this movie is that I didn't see much of the Kyle Newacheck sort of brand of comedy. I just saw Adam Sandler, and it begs the question, how much control does a director actually have on an Adam Sandler movie, or are they basically just being subservient to Adam Sandler?
God, give me the answer!
And I think there were moments that I could see Kyle Newacheck. I saw his influence in casting with Haley Joel Osment, and that sort of villain side, which was him and another actor I didn't know, they felt very on brand with Kyle Newacheck, whereas the Sandler characters felt very Adam Sandler. So I think he gave him more free reign with that side. Also, there's this whole thing with the villains where they have this weird version of golf that they're trying to create, this more new age version, and that was where they tried to add in a lot of modern things to this movie that were sloppy. I would have just preferred it to be the straight golf game again, like the original Happy Gilmore, and not have this attempt to reach young audiences. I mean, there's cameo from Post Malone and the Kelsey brother and people that they're there to tickle the Gen Z, and it's just feeling very forced and what are they doing here, and what is this weird Minecraft looking golf course thing. None of that landed. The movie overall, it's an Adam Sandler movie. If you like him, you're probably going to get something out of this movie. If you're annoyed by him, if you're tired of his movies, you might be annoyed by this movie. I'm kind of in the realm of I'm tired of his movies just because of the last few, but I did enjoy this movie. I did laugh in moments. And the thing about his humor is it's very much the lowest brow. I mean, this is for the groundlings humor at its finest. And for some reason, the thing is, when you're doing this sort of humor, when it lands, it does get a response. You can't help but laugh at it, almost because of just the stupidity of it. And that takes a certain skill level from him that I'm not going to denote. But you're not going to get any heady, witty jokes out of him. There's going to be a lot of penis jokes, people falling down, people going bonk. That sort of thing that we've come to expect out of an Adam Sandler movie. And if you're expecting anything else, why the are you watching one of his movies? Anyway, the movie isn't, perfect as in terms of filmmaking. There's a lot of callbacks to the original film. There's a lot of cutaways to footage from the original film, which I always find a little cheap. Just make a new movie. If you want to bring back the characters or whatever, but the sort of going back and forth to the old movie and then the new one, it's just kind of jostling. And sometimes if the old movie's better, you almost just feel like, oh, I wish I was just watching the old movie, which that happens a couple times in this one. And it does have that sort of trademark Netflix movie to it. And I can't always put my finger on what it is, but it feels like a movie made for Netflix, not something that would get a theatrical release. But in this movie, because Happy Gilmore, the first one, ends on such a high note for Happy Gilmore, Sandler knew he has to kind of bring him back down to earth at the start of the movie. So at the start of the movie, his wife has passed away, he's aged, he's now this alcoholic who works at a grocery store, and he can't play golf anymore because he accidentally killed his wife with a golf ball, and he has these kids, and they're all kind of knuckleheads.
You gotta do it, Dad.
All right, let's go. Let's go get him, Dad.
But I was about to jig. I know how to do it, Dad. Let's go.
Okay. They all are exactly like Happy Gilmore. And this is something where, if you were watching an independent film or a more, movie, there would be nuance to each one of those characters. Not all 4 boys would act exactly the same. They would have, there'd be the nerdy kid and maybe the one kid who wants to be like his dad and the other, but instead it's just like 4 little Happy Gilmores. And within that, it's kind of funny, but they don't have any personality of their own. So they're just kind of like this pack, which works as a visual joke, but it does get a little bit tiresome in the runtime of a 2-hour movie when these characters keep returning and doing the same thing over and over and over. And, he grows a bit as a character in this, and there's the same sort of folks that we remember. And if they couldn't get the original person back, then in the plot, that person died, and now their son is in the movie, and it's another actor who vaguely looks like the person from the original movie playing the son.
My dad loved you, man. I am.
So, just a lot of that sort of thing, but whatever. I mean, really, if you're like into Adam Sandler and you want to watch something quick on Netflix, I'm not going to knock you for watching this movie and enjoying it. It's not, I've kind of let go of that part of my life where I was like, I'm not into Adam Sandler. I'm too good for that guy. I have real movie taste. At this point, I'm like, the dude's been working so hard for decades, selling tickets. People love him for a reason. And if you're not seeing that reason, then I think it's something in you and something elitist about you that you need to get over. It's kind of the hallmark of like, are you pretentious or not? Is like, are you gonna actually admit to the fact that some of this is kind of funny and absurd and ridiculous, and get over the fact that it's not maybe the, most elite form of comedy. And comedy isn't really meant to be elite. I mean, at times it should be, but Shakespeare made these sorts of jokes. If you go back to these things, I mean, he obviously made top of the line jokes too, but he made bottom groundling jokes all the time because he wanted to appeal to everybody. And I think Adam Sandler just wants to appeal to everybody and make everybody laugh. And I think, if anything, you'll laugh a few times.